Hello and welcome everyone to the virtual public board meeting for July 7th, 2022 for Brentwood-Darlington Neighborhood Association. Hopefully that's all where you plan to be this evening. If not, welcome anyway. I'm going to go ahead and get started and we'll go from there. As you know, we use Zoom to host our meetings virtually. You can participate in any of those ways shown, computer, smart device, or calling in. We do use this slideshow throughout our meetings, and it will be accessible on the link there at Public Records. We'll get those links here in the chat, and then you'll be able to access those. We do post this video also on our YouTube channel. That link will come as well. And we do hold other meetings as needed, but less is more where meetings go. We've revived our community conversation agreements. We used to post these at our meetings and recently refound them. Quickly, respect others when they are talking, listen to understand, share ideas, ask questions, use I statements, one speaker at a time, disagree without being disagreeable, critique ideas, not people. If you tend to speak a lot, try listening more. If you tend to sit back and listen, consider speaking up more. Keep discussion focused on relevant topics and honor the time limits of the agenda. On that note, we're going to stretch one segment in our second half a little more than I originally allotted. The community center topic, I think, needs a little more than 15. So we're going to go ahead and give it 20 instead. So just a note on that, where limits to the time agenda, which you can see here instead of trying to imagine. And I'll give you a moment to look at it. 1 second. The only other note on our agenda is I wanted to highlight that we will have a guest speaker on the Franz Bakery site at our August 4th meeting. And I don't have an official slide update from them on that, but we can discuss that in our miscellaneous business at the end if anybody wants to. Any questions on the agenda? All right. Oh, one note. The elections that are happening at the end of this first half at 7:35, we will hold an open call for board members as long as all of my quorum is met, which I think we have, I think everybody's here, and I'll do a count when I move it on to introductions, which is now. And you've probably been wondering who I am if you're not a regular. I'm Chelsea Powers. I'm the current chair of the neighborhood association here. She, her pronouns. Been in the neighborhood about 6 years now. Not my first meeting. Originally heard about BDNA through a national night out event posted on a Facebook group. And that's about it. I'll just call down the roll, and if you don't want to introduce yourself, you can either say pass or you can be silent and we'll move on. Mary Kay, you're first on my list. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Wonderful. Yeah. My name is Mary. My pronouns are she, her, hers. This is my third meeting and my 4th month living here on this coast as well as in this neighborhood. And I sought out the neighborhood association, but I definitely saw some signs around the neighborhood.
Thank you, Mary. If you would like your own BDNA yard sign, we do have a few left. They're stored at the community center and we can get you one. So if you want to be one of those awesome signs run around the neighborhood, let us know.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down.
All right, I'll access that box, and or maybe Derek can help me since I usually have to ask him to lift it down. And we'll get it going and we'll connect. So go ahead and message me your stuff in like private chat and I'll connect with you. Okay, next is Stephanie.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephanie Frederick. I have lived in Brentwood-Darlington for 5 years and was on the BDNA board for 5 years at the same time that I was living here. So this is not my first meeting. I learned about the neighborhood association system before I moved here. It was one of the reasons for moving here. And I'm interested in climate in action to combat the climate crisis. And I'm also interested in neighborhood affairs. The Brentwood-Darlington Community Center, I think, has a lot of promise for the whole community here. And I've also been working on street safety. And that's all.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. If you're interested in the community center and working on reviving it and things like that, definitely stay for our second half. Next up on my list is Derek. Go ahead.
I'll unmute myself. Hello, my name is Derek Covey. Pronouns are he, him. I've lived in the neighborhood since 2012, and I'm a board member, and I do community outreach and try to reach out to new neighbors and make them aware of the neighborhood association. As far as anything else, I did invite a guest tonight, Shauna Erickson, who used to live in our neighborhood, and she has a new listing in the neighborhood on a property down by 66 and Flavel. And that's it.
Thank you, Derek. If you have received a brochure in the mail, you can thank Derek. That's one of the programs he keeps going, is our new neighbor move-in brochure mailing. Gail, you're next.
Hi, we're going to talk about concerts later. I've been here for 30 years. This is not my first meeting. She, her pronouns. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be a great concert. If you have enjoyed a movie in the park or a concert in the park in the past, thank Gail. Pam, you're next.
Hello, everyone. Pam Hodge, she, her pronouns. I was born here and came back in 2012 to care for an elderly parent and promptly sought out the neighborhood association. I served on the board for 5 years and stepped down a year ago due to some health issues and hope to rejoin the board later this evening. And I guess that's it.
Awesome. Glad to see you back, Pam. Let's see. Next on my list is Shauna Erickson.
Hello, I'm Shauna Erickson. I'm with All County Real Estate. I have the property on 66th and Flavel. I work with a lot of land development projects and stuff like that. That's why I was excited to have this listing. This is my second time with this property, actually. I was part of the first rehab, cleaning it out and getting the gentleman moved into assisted living. And then I sold it to the gentleman who just rehabbed the property. So it's a great property. You guys have any questions with it, I'm here for you. And it sounds like a fun meeting. So
Shauna, I can give you 30 seconds if you want to give a one-sentence blurb why that house is unique or interesting and neighbors should look at.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a 1913 home that has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, completely renovated. It's got an 11,000 square foot lot where 6,500 square feet of it can be developed still. And City of Portland is allowing you to put cottages instead of subdividing the property. So you can put 4 to 6 additional, similar to ADUs, but cottages on the property, like rental properties. And it'll increase the value significantly with that extra land there.
Awesome. Thank you. If you have questions on that, you can message Shauna or look up that property. Linda, go ahead. You're next.
Hi, my name is Linda Goldser. I'm the director of the demonstration garden, Multnomah County Master Gardener Demonstration Garden, and over on 57th. And let me see, my pronouns are she, her. I've been with the garden for 6 years, been coming to these meetings for 3 because we'd like to promote community relations with the garden. So there you go.
Thank you, Linda. Next up is Kimberly Deleo.
Hello, everybody. Kim Deleo, she, her pronouns. I've lived in Brentwood-Darlington for 7 years, and I've been attending meetings a little over a year. And that's it. I have a guest coming tomorrow, so frantically cleaning the house.
Nothing like panic cleaning to get your space rehabbed. Kim H, you're next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kim Hill. She, her pronouns. Her, she, hers pronouns. How long have I lived and worked, owned a business in the neighborhood? I have lived in Brentwood-Darlington for almost 5 years. This is not my first meeting. I first heard about Brentwood-Darlington through accessing services and asking questions. And I am one of the amazing dream team that helps run Soak It Week.
If you saw social media on Soak It Week, you can thank Kim. She did an amazing job on that. And we are about at 150 buckets. So check in later for more updates on Soak It Week and how to get your blue bucket if you missed your our events. We'll get it at some point tonight. Oops. Oh, I don't want to miss Mary. Mary, you're there at the bottom. Mary Davis.
Hi there, Mary Davis here. I've lived in the neighborhood since 1994. Pronouns are she, her. Served on the BDNA board a couple of different eras, so well entrenched. And I serve as kind of an unofficial Leach Botanical Garden liaison, and I'll have some more information for you coming up.
Awesome. And Mary, I made you one slide because I wanted to make sure neighbors knew about the climate lecture series in case you weren't here.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to slide right into our community announcement series. There's a lot of them, but we'll go quick. And I do have to add one to the slideshow that just came into our email, or actually, I'll just mention it verbally and we can put it in the chat from Southeast Uplift. So I can see you, Laura Lee. Let's see, Laura Lee, where are you? I see you in the chat. We missed Laura Lee. Oh, there you are, Laura Lee, and it totally ate 3 of you. I'm sorry. Heather, Laura Lee, and Dunya, it resorted you out of my view. Hold on one moment. We're gonna go back. We're flexible. Let's see, Laura Lee, and then Heather, and then Dunya, and then let me know if I missed anybody else.
Okay, I'll go really fast. I'm Laura Lee. I have lived in the neighborhood for 9 years. Not my first meeting. She, her pronouns. I heard about BDNA from walking by the community center. I'm a former board member and hoping to rejoin later today.
Yay, we're excited. Heather, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Heather DeRay, and I've lived in the neighborhood for 5 years now. This is my first meeting. I heard about BDNA from Johnny Luthold. He helped me out with my invasive trees in the neighborhood, and I just want to get more involved in the neighborhood and community. I also work in Woodstock with John L. Scott.
Excellent, welcome. I wish we had something exciting we could do when it's a neighbor's first meeting. Instead we just could go, yay. Dunya, I think you're our last introduction unless it has resorted and made me miss anyone else.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm Dunya Markham. I've been in the neighborhood since I've been in the neighborhood a long time. It's been about 20 years, I think. This is also not my first meeting, and she, her pronouns. I'm exhausted right now. I'm in just starting out. I'm a member and also officer at the Moose Lodge, and we are hosting art camps. We've been hosting art camps since June 20th, since the week school got out. I'm also the program director for Vibe of Portland, and so we have been running art camps there since then. So if you ever drive by there, you should expect to see little kids running around all over the place. But yeah, and then we also hosted the July 4th party that just happened on July 4th. And we've been proud to be hosting also the Soak It Week buckets there at the lodge.
It's been really great to partner with the lodge, and the music at the block party was excellent.
Yep, that was awesome.
And I want to echo in the chat, Kim H says, amazing, thanks for all you do, Dunya. The music was excellent. So definitely a shout out there. Okay, did I miss anyone else? All right, Zoom is going to try my patience this evening, but we will get through. Let's move to community announcements before it does anything else. We always start with our trifecta of awesome at the Green Thumb site, the Learning Gardens Lab, the Black Futures Farm, and the Multnomah Master Gardeners. I only see Linda here. So the only update I have for Learning Gardens Lab is that their harvest shares ended for the season. So check back in the fall to see what the programs are and what they're planning. No updates from Black Futures Farm because I know they are busily working and I see them back there all the time. So definitely check them out. The gate's open. I know you can go in and visit and hit up Malcolm. He's always up for a conversation. And now you get a break from me and we get to hear Linda tell us about Master Gardeners and this awesome event they're gonna start.
Okay, first of all, we all know that June we had some days of torrential rains and then some really, really high temperatures. And then all of a sudden it was summer. It went from not being summer to the next day, then it was summer. We're harvesting lots of the usual vegetables and for this time of the year, and just starting into to start harvesting our summer crops, which are doing very well, and donating to local food pantries, whatever we grow. We're putting in lots of new volunteers through orientation, and Mary Kinney, who is here on the board or at the meeting here, took her orientation at the end of June, and I believe she may have had a second day, I'm not sure. But anybody who wants to come and volunteer at the garden is more than welcome. Let's see. We're also getting ready for our July, the July concert in the park, where we'll have a Master Gardener table, Ask a Master Gardener. You can get any question, gardening question answered. And then we are going to have an August event at the garden. So mark your calendars for the Saturday, the 20th, and save the date. We'll have more information for you next month. We also have been having lots and lots of visitors to the garden. People who just walk by and happen to see our gate open. Our public is more than welcome. And we are open from 9 to noon, Monday through Thursday. So anytime you see that gate open, come on and talk to us. Don't have to bend down and pull weeds, just come in and talk. So that's all I have for today.
Excellent. Thank you, Linda.
Sure.
I'll turn it over to Mary Davis. And Mary, the only slide I made was on the climate change series. So I know there's lots of great events, but let me know if you would like to use that slide.
Oh, sure. That's one of the things I was going to talk about. I have 3 really important announcements to make. And I'm just going to hit the highlights. There's more detail on the website. Our new executive director, Ben Shockey, joined us in June, and that's spelled Shockey. He comes with a lot of experience in nonprofits and even as an interim executive director, which if you think that's not a tough row to hoe, you're dreaming. We started July 1st with an admission fee of $5 for folks 6 and over. But we also instituted a program called Gardens for All. And those are for folks who are low income and are unable to pay the $5 fee. And if anybody comes and says, really, I can't afford it, but I'd love to see the garden, we aren't going to contest that. You're more than welcome to come in. So the third item is the lecture after hours. And Stephanie, this one's for you. It's looking at climate change. These are the usual Wednesday evening lectures that we've done in the past. And there's the dates. Isn't that fabulous? So you can see the subject matter for each one of those dates. Each one is $20 for the public or $15 for members of Leech Garden Friends. Thank you, Chelsea.
I mainly put them there because I hope somebody's going to go and come and tell me about it, because I'm out of town 2 of those 3 dates and I'm really irritated.
Well, I'll be there and I can make reports as we go.
And maybe there could be like a little summary at the meetings following, or at the end of like, here's the things, because I think especially that adapting yards and trees to canopies would be really relevant to our neighborhood.
No kidding. And I'll try to send you a synopsis of each before each meeting.
You're amazing.
August, September, October.
Thank you, Mary.
All right, let's move to school update. Only update I have is school is out. If you need nutrition services for your child ages 0 to 17, check out pps.net/nutrition for the free lunch sites. Our closest library is our Woodstock Library. We do have a new head librarian, but I don't think that's the actual official title. And they weren't able to come tonight, but I want to put this back in our agenda because they're hoping to. And there is the summer reading program happening now. So, and it's open to adults too. You can still get your prizes. They don't have pizza anymore though. Derek, can you give us a super short summary on this initiative petition, since we're running a little behind on our agenda?
Sure, I can. Let's see here. Basically, we needed like 119,000 signatures, and I believe we have somewhere between 140, 150,000 signatures for Initiative Petition 17. And for those that aren't familiar with it, that's the one that goes by the name of gun safety. And the idea is to get it on the November ballot and close what's called, we have a gun background check loophole. And then the second one is mandating gun owner education and safety training. And last but not least, mandating that gun magazines only have 10 rounds for private parties. And but yeah, that looks like it's easily going to be on the November ballot. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
Any questions for Derek?
Short and sweet.
All right.
Question, but thank you, Derek.
Yeah, and I don't know if people saw me. I was out at Woodstock in the Woodstock area with, this is my first time collecting signatures for Initiative Petition. And I also went downtown, went to the Blues Festival. It was quite an adventure for me. I got started on May and I finished about 2 days ago. So awesome. It was quite the experience going out and dealing with the public and gathering signatures.
Thanks,
Anyway.
Derek. I actually did see you on Woodstock. We waved, but you were busy helping somebody sign. Laura asks if you can put the link in the chat. And if you have questions for Derek on this, go ahead and message him.
Gotcha.
Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and move to the Soak It Week update. And while that happens, since this picture isn't really necessary, I'm going to turn off the screen share and refresh the slideshow because I added the Southeast Uplift event and I want to make sure we let neighbors know about that. So just letting you know, Kim, if you don't mind doing, Kim and Laura Lee, if you don't mind doing an update on this while I do that little technical switch in the background.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I would love to start with the Soak It Week update with just thanking Chelsea for being so awesome, providing such amazing support for this neighborhood event, second year running. Laura Lee, would it put you on the spot too much to start, or do you want me to start?
I can start if you want. I don't mind being put on the spot. So we got over 300 buckets this year. They are drilled with stickers placed on them, and we had our first event oh gosh, what was the date? The 18th.
18th, yeah.
And we gave away over 90 buckets. And then we had our second event on July 4th, partnering with Moose Lodge on their 4th of July block party. And that was a lot of fun. So we're having a pretty good time. We're going to try for a third event on music in the park. So we're just kind of piggybacking on everyone else's events, except we did have one of our own. So Kim's been amazing. Chelsea's been amazing. And I don't know, we're just really kind of having fun with it this year.
I would second that. I think we're really getting into a groove. It felt like we put in a lot. Chelsea, Laura Lee, and myself put in a lot of research last year, and then with tremendous support from Stephanie, just building a program that can really be very relatively easy. Thing that's really nice is the one of the nice folks from Trees for Life, who is our partner in this program that helps support the grant writing, so that we can receive these buckets for free. We give them away for free. I think Laura Lee should share a little bit, or I will share on Laura Lee's behalf, how much tremendous work she did drilling all the buckets. We did not have to do that last year, and she offered to drill holes in 300 buckets and was so sweet about it, and was like, I'll just watch TV. We got it done, and then we all caravaned the buckets from the Trees for Life members house, and then also to the Moose Lodge. And I also am thinking of all the other people we need to thank, such as Dunya and her lovely husband, who have been storing those buckets in the Moose Lodge. Yeah, we are tremendously grateful. It is definitely a group effort, and the response from folks has really been awesome too. Folks are always really excited for buckets, and I think I'm hopping around, and thank you for your patience as I hop around. I would like to share that the Trees for Life, one of their members, did show up to the event last week and had really nice things to say about our partnership, and was talking about next year. I would love to see it spread to other neighborhood associations, and it would be lovely to give away some of those buckets this year, but I don't know if that's possible. And I mean, we truly are giving away Soak It Week buckets. They have a label on them in addition to the holes. Laura Lee, did you put all those stickers on too? That's just amazing.
Can I pause you there?
Yes, please pause me.
Okay. I want to hit a couple of points you brought up. One,
yes,
we are still storing buckets at the Moose Lodge. So if you missed getting your buckets, you can contact BDNA, and we'll put our email in the chat, and we will figure out how we can get you some buckets. To the point of other neighborhood associations, it would be awesome to maybe contact Woodstock, because they have a booth at the Woodstock Farmers Market, and we could offer extra buckets there maybe. Gail, yes, we are having them at the concert. That's our third event. So whatever we have left over at the concert, we could possibly partner with Woodstock at the Farmers Market. So that's just an idea there. And then any questions on Soak It Week before we move on? I know it's a short update. If you have questions, because I really want to respect our agenda limits and we're already running behind, go ahead and either put it in the chat or message one of us, and we'll get your question answered. Sound good? Okay. Moving next. Oh, come on. Gail, you want to do a 2-minute update on concert in the park?
There we go. Hello? Okay. the 29th, have we sent a check in for only $750 because we got a discount? That's about the only question. It looks like it's going to be a great evening, and 6:30 to 8:30 as I'm reading the screen. I think we're supposed to be there about 6 to set up or something, but you know, other than that, we don't have to stay till like 10. So that'll be nice. Everybody come. I think
All
that's
right.
all I have.
It's gonna be a great event.
Good.
On the note of the check, Gail, Kim is working on that with Parks and Rec.
And
And
he knows that.
we'll double check the setup time with Jed. We're gonna have 2 food vendors, he said, 1 sweet, 1 savory. And then there is gonna be, we need to talk about how many guides in the languages we want, but we can do that at the end of the meeting and
Yeah.
hash that out. So, but he sent me numbers on that.
Right.
And there's an official event schedule up now, and we'll put in the chat the link as well for the PDF of the event schedule if you guys want, if y'all want to save it and go to more than one event. So this is
We were in the
exciting.
paper,
Our
so
first,
that's official.
yep, our first official concert in the park. And Linda, do you want to highlight? Oh man, my page didn't load. Linda, do
Aw.
you want to highlight what Master Gardeners is going to do at the concert while I look for my slide that disappeared?
Sure. We are going to have what we call a clinic table, which at farmers markets, they're called Ask a Master Gardener. And you can ask any gardening question, get it answered. If we don't know the answer, then we will find it and get back to you. And we will have a second table, which at this point in time is still being planned, but what our idea is to have a few different garden craft projects, garden art or whatever, to have some prototypes and then give out free directions on how people can do those crafts themselves. And we're focusing on cheap and easy and nice. So
I like it.
yeah.
Awesome. I see a question, Kim D, your hands up. And Linda, I don't know where your slide went. It had gotten eaten. So if you want to see the excellent picture that Linda added for that, check your e-newsletter in your email.
I just was going to ask Gail if she needed any help setting up or anything like that.
Are we having a table? We should.
Yeah, we'll have a BDNA table like we need to, which brings up the subject of our BDNA Canopy, which has served a good, 3-4 years at this point and is starting to get sad. So let's make sure we talk about that at the end and maybe fund a new one.
I have a giant one, but it takes like 3 guys to get it out of my.
I have to be able to set it up and take it down on my own.
Yeah, it's huge.
But we'll
have,
move that to the end of the
two.
meeting under other board business, but just put that in your head so I don't forget. All right. Any other questions on concert in the park? Go ahead and put in the chat, contact Gail, or let us know. This is that Southeast Uplift event that I wanted to make sure got highlighted. A community engagement evening on houselessness that's happening August 1st from 6 to 8. We won't meet before then, so I wanted to make sure we included it, and we'll put the link for how to register in the chat. I don't have any more information on that, but Southeast Uplift does have it on their website with a whole big thing. 30-second update on Sparrowhawk native plant sale pickup. We are going to be one of the fall pickup locations at the community center. We are partnering with the amazing Master Gardeners. Thank you, Linda, for being my partner in non-crime there. And we are meeting with them, I believe it's July 25th, to kind of kick things off. So until then, we won't have any updates. So look for more information in August. So I don't have a lot more info on that, but I will after this meeting. Okay. Everybody take a deep breath with me. We have to shift gears from all the cool things happening in our neighborhoods and do the task of administration of electing our officers, because we were unable to meet quorum last month due to many reasons. And so we still need to do that. We also want to give any board members who missed the elections a chance. Our bylaws state that we can add new board members at any time up to our cap of, I think it's 19 or 21. It's something outrageous like that. We're only at 5, so we're not in any danger. And with a unanimous vote of the sitting board. Since our quorum is 5 board members and our current board is 5 board members, everybody on the board has to be here in order for that vote to happen. So I just want to make sure that we have quorum, because it would be awful to have to put this off another month. So I see Gail, that's 1. I see Junia, that's 2. I see Derek, that's 3. I see Kim D, that's 4, and me makes 5. So we have quorum, we can elect officers, we can add board members. It's so exciting. All right, so first I'm going to put out a call for anyone who missed being able to join the board in May and would like to join before we elect officers, because officers are elected just from and by the sitting board. So if you'd like to be considered, I see excitement in the chat, go ahead and type your whole name in the chat so we have that record when we go to do our minutes. And I see hands up from Lauralee and Pam. I'm guessing that's the pick me, and not questions, right? Okay, all right. So, and I see Kim Hill in the chat. So Kimberly Hill, Pam Hodge, and Lauralee Cole would all like to be considered to be added to the board for the remainder of the 2022-2023 term. Board members, I'm going to do the usual thing where I call the vote down the roll. And sorry, neighbors who aren't board members, this is the part where you just get to be spectators. So hopefully we get through it quick and it's not too bad. All right, Derek.
Aye.
And Gail. I see a thumbs up nod. Gail's having audio problems. That's an aye from her. Kim Deleo.
Aye.
Dunya.
Aye.
And myself, aye. Board members are elected unanimously for the remainder of the 2022-23 term. So that means that your term ends May 31st, after our May elections. Okay, so that's really exciting. We now have a board of 8. Yay! Okay, so the next thing we get to do is we get to elect officers. And I'm actually going to go in reverse on our officer elections, since we already have some board members who are either already fulfilling that role and would like to continue or have been training for that role. Is that all right, board members? Okay, excellent. So I would like to know if any board members are interested in running for the position of secretary. Don't everybody fight over it. Lauralee is interested. Thank you, Lauralee. Secretary is a thankless job, and Lauralee is excellent at it, and we are so happy to have her back. I'll run through the votes for adding Lauralee as our secretary. Derek?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Kim Deleo?
Aye.
Dunya?
Aye.
Oh, hold on, my screen moved. Lauralee, you get to vote for yourself.
I do? Okay, aye, aye.
Gail?
Okay, aye.
I'll let you go.
Awesome. And Kim Hill.
Aye.
Great, unanimous. Welcome to being secretary once again, Laura Lee. Next up is treasurer. Do we have a board member who is interested in being treasurer? Kim Hill is interested in being treasurer. Board members, you know the drill. I'll go through again. Laura Lee?
Hi.
Gail, I see your thumbs up for your eye. All right.
Aye.
Kim H?
Aye.
Derek?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Kim D?
Aye.
Dunya?
Hi.
Myself, aye. Unanimous election. Welcome to being treasurer, Kim Hill. We are so happy to have you. And for those who were at previous meetings, Kim has been training under our previous treasurer, Lynn Reck, and is already approved on all the accounts. So this is a smooth transition and we are so happy to have her. Many don't know that without treasurer and secretary, organizations just don't function. They're the most important roles and the most thankless. All right, now I'm gonna put the next one is vice chair. Is anyone interested in being vice chair this year? Or chair, I will put that out there, chair or vice chair. Anyone interested in chair or vice chair? Dunya asks, what does that involve? Or what does that entail? So the chair is responsible for a few very specific things. The chair is responsible for doing the agenda and leading the meetings. The chair, actually, I have a website post on this. Give me a sec to pull it up. And just one moment. Thanks for your patience. It's so much easier than me trying to bumble through this because we actually wrote a post for this. So the chair is responsible for presiding over meetings, drawing up the agenda, and generally representing the board and neighborhood when necessary. This can be things like attending a meeting as on behalf of the BDNA, signing documents when we vote to do a letter or something like that. And the average monthly time commitment is estimated between 20-30 hours. But it can be a lot more than that, or maybe a little less, depending on how you decide to be a chair. The vice chair assists the chair and steps in when the chair is unable to perform their duties. Average time commitment is 10 to 15 hours a month. We haven't had a vice chair in a while, but that person is basically the chair is sick, can't host a meeting, or might trade off some duties. Maybe the vice chair answers the email for a while or whatever it might be. Do we have more questions?
I will, I'll nominate myself for vice chair.
Excellent. Gina's nominated herself for vice chair. We will run down the rules really quickly for our votes. Laura Lee?
Sorry, you keep calling me first and I can't get to that unmute button.
Sorry.
Aye.
It likes to put you on the top. Gail?
Aye.
Dunya?
Aye.
Kim Hill?
Hey.
Derek?
Aye.
Kim Deleo?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
And me, aye. Did I miss anybody? All right, welcome Dunya to vice chair. Now the question is anyone interested in being chair? And I will go ahead and state I am not planning to rerun for chair. I have been chair for the last 5 years and my situation in life has changed and I no longer have the hours to give that I used to. And it's time to have somebody else take the reins and enjoy. I'm not leaving the board, still doing like the website and the newsletter, the stuff that I enjoy and want to keep going, but I just don't have the hours to commit to this that I used to. And I think the BDNA needs that.
Wow, Chelsea, that was sort of a surprise announcement. Do we have to decide tonight?
It's generally when it's done, and the sitting board was actually aware. I let them know couple months ago when we were going to have originally have these elections. But I'm sure it is surprising to a lot of folks who expected it to keep going. But I used to be able to dedicate almost full-time work to this and neighborhood projects. And now I work full-time, and it's just not what the time I have to give anymore. And also it'd be nice to have a fresh look on everything and make sure that we're serving neighbors correctly.
Well, we're grateful for all those years and effort that you spent, so thank you.
So if we don't have a chair, it defaults to the vice chair. I'm sorry, Dunya. The other thing we could do is, board members, we could take turns rotating the duties of the chair. Those main duties of presiding over meetings, apologies for that. Presiding over meetings, drawing up the agenda, and representing the board when necessary. So I know that availability tends to vary throughout the year. So if we cannot actually elect a chair, I would propose that we come up with a schedule where everybody takes a month where they are chair. And question, Lauralee.
Oh, that unmute button tonight, I swear. I think it would be better to not put all of it on Dunya and everybody take a turn. We've got 8 board members, which is fantastic. So that pretty much, if nobody does step up to be chair, that covers us for every month for the rest of the year. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay. I would add that I'd like to exclude our 2 board members that are already serving as officers, unless they want to, because I don't want to put an undue burden on our treasurer or secretary when they're already committing a lot of hours. Other opinions?
So is it possible to do some additional recruitment for a chair and revisit this at a future board meeting?
Absolutely. If you bring some more board members in and they're excited to serve, like, we can vote at any time to elect board members. We can, as long as we know we're going to elect an officer, we have to give notice to the community. And I would have to look in our bylaws. I believe that's at least 30 days, maybe 60. So, but I'm not sure about the situation. It's not happened since I've been on the BDNA, but I do know that at one point it was also, it has happened before. So Gail says 30 days notice. So if somebody was interested, they could join the board, they could express their interest, and we could hold an election the next month.
Thank you.
Derek, do you have a thought on this? I want to make sure it's heard.
I have a random thought going on in my head. I'm thinking, yeah, I know my schedule personally is going to get very busy in August. But I'm thinking everybody else is probably, the pandemic is kind of fading away and people are just trying to wake up and get back to their lives. I guess I can, on my part, I guess as I'm doing outreach, I can specifically talk to people about, hey, we need someone to function as a chair, or I could be discussing that with neighbors going forward.
Awesome. We could even put a notice in the flyer we send out that we're actively looking for new members.
Yes.
So we'll make sure that you're not in charge of August.
Great, thank you.
Kim Hill, do you have a opinion, thought on this you'd like to share?
I think I shared, I said in the chat, yes, that's an excellent idea. So I really like this idea. I think it helps to spread the burden. And I know that vice chair becoming chair is a lot more than Dunya had really originally agreed to. And I think I just really think that it would be good for us to share the love, so to speak, on this very important role. So yeah. And treasurer duties are a lot. However, if there is an opening and no one else can fill it, I am more than happy to step up for a time and share the love.
Excellent. We'll make sure that doesn't happen around when those specific things are due that we can't have to do every year. Kim Deleo, I see your hand up. And sorry, I missed your comment in the chat, Kim.
Oh, no, that's okay. I just want to be completely honest. I don't have any extra time to do any more than I'm doing right now. Just full transparency.
So if we were to share chair abilities, we would schedule you far out and then assess if you were able to do it when we got there.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure that you have a lot of prep work that you put into these. I mean, so, you know, I just don't have that kind of free time right now with work. But yeah, the furthest out would be great.
I really appreciate your honesty and boundaries. It's really important. We'll make sure that we don't encroach on time you don't have off. Gail has 1 day a week off. So Gail will have to work with your schedule, and maybe you could have a buddy on your month as chair. So maybe somebody could partner with you and share that load. We could even double up and have, you know, maybe every month somebody helps Dunya, and it's a partnership. And that way everybody knows how to keep the meetings running in case we have a chair and they do have like an extended illness or issue that keeps them from being able to do their role. Oh, the whole Zoom thing. Gail, I'm so glad you brought that up. I want to continue doing the newsletter and the website that I'm already doing, and I will volunteer to continue hosting the Zoom meetings, except for August when I'm out of town and will not have access to internet during our meeting. So if somebody is able to help with the August 4th meeting and we are not having a work group in August, then I will continue to manage the Zoom end of things, because I know that can be really intimidating to think about running a meeting and having to do the technical side. So if Zoom is the reason you don't want to be chair, you can take that off your plate. I'm already fighting this battle, and it's just easy. I can just continue it. All right. So it seems like we are going to roll on a rotating chair schedule, helping Dunya as vice chair. We can continue this discussion, board members, in email, and figure out a schedule that accommodates all of our needs and all of our time constraints and everybody's skills. Dunya can cover August. Dunya, you're amazing. I don't want to cancel August because we will have a guest speaker on the Friends Bakery site. So it's super important. Thank you. Okay. It's been a long hour listening to me. So is everybody ready to take a break? I'm going to go ahead and pause our recording. We're going to return at 8:05. Thank you everyone for hanging in through all of that craziness. I really recommend staying for the discussion on the community center. It's going to be a project that needs the entire community. We'll see you at 8:05. The top item on our agenda is the community center update, and that's going to be done by Pam. And I also wanted to welcome Andy Nelson. So before we jump into this, I have two questions. One, Andy, would you like to introduce yourself? And two, Pam and Andy, whose slide should come first?
Oh, Chelsea, actually, I wasn't planning on doing the slideshow that I prepared for last month that you have up on the screen, because I wanted to give Andy full opportunity to update us on the operations at Impact Northwest. I don't think there's time to do both. So I'd like to defer to Andy and just introduce him, if I may, to set the stage for that.
Perfect. I'll switch to his slides while you do that.
Super. So as the board may be aware, the board entered into a good neighbor agreement with Impact Northwest last January. And part of that good neighbor agreement was to meet every 6 months with Impact Northwest to discuss a variety of issues. And lo and behold, it has now been 6 months. And there are all sorts of technical issues about maintenance of the building and lease extension. But I think since this is sort of the inaugural kickoff meeting between BDNA and Impact Northwest, and we're so fortunate to have Andy Nelson, the executive director, here with us today, I've asked him to give an overview of Impact Northwest current mission, vision, values, and how their programs serve Brentwood-Darlington residents. And with that sort of big picture overview, maybe we can schedule some time later on to delve into the nitty gritty of what needs to happen with building maintenance and the lease extension, et cetera. Does that sound okay to everyone?
Sounds good to us if it works for you, Andy. And Andy, let me know when you would like your slideshow shared, because I wanted to give you a chance to introduce yourself before there's a wall of text.
Thanks, Chelsea. And thanks, Pam. And hey, everybody, I'm Andy Nelson, Executive Director of Impact Northwest. I know it's been a long night. I'm not going to talk a lot. That's hard for me. So I'll be brief. But I am psyched to be here and start a conversation. And I'm really glad we do have the good neighbor agreement. And I think it'd be awesome to just have an ongoing dialogue. We've actually been, Impact's been part of that Brentwood-Darlington community center for a long time. So I've had like 2 tours with Impact. I worked at the organization first from 2000 to 2002, and Impact was part of the community center. And I came back in 2016, and there was a lot of things I noticed about Impact. One thing I noticed is that nothing had really changed with the community center. It was sort of still in the situation it was, and the roof got a little bit older. Things weren't as polished and as new as I remember them. And I noticed that, and I started asking around what's going on there and what's the vision for the building, and didn't get a lot of answers. And somewhere along the way, I met Stephanie, and struck up a friendship with her and a vision around what may be possible for that community center. We also entangled a kind of interesting history that's right out of a mystery, probably ready for a Netflix series in terms of like who owns what. Anyway, we should probably untangle that over time. And then recently got to know Pam, and the 3 of us have kind of put our head together and along the way, met Chelsea as well. And we started to put our heads together about what could be possible with the community center. And I'll get back to that in a minute, but I'll kind of start with basics. What is Impact? Who the heck are you and what are you doing? So maybe we could fire up those slides, Chelsea, and I'll go through them super quick. Not going to read the whole slide, I promise. So we're
sorry.
I'll just.
Do you want people to ask questions as you present or hold their questions to the end?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna, I'm not necessarily gonna read this. I'm just gonna kind of like ad-lib some comments. Impact's been part of the community since 1966, started in the Buckman neighborhood of Southeast, and was started by kind of a rowdy group of neighbors that wanted to see something changed in their neighborhood. An active group, probably people that had meetings like you, and decided, we want something to be different in our neighborhood. That's how we started. And we've always been local folks who are on our board and are employed by us. And I think one of the things that we've really been consistent about is taking on the issue of the day. And so recently we created a focus around preventing homelessness. We do that under some beautiful language here. You may be able to read, but I won't read that. That's the important takeaway. The vision, the next slide is just, and of course, I think this is top of mind for everyone, but I think we all agree that housing should really be a human right, and there's not enough of it. It's a massive problem for us. Everyone's talking about it. It's interestingly, we created this direction in 2018, not knowing what a huge issue homelessness would be. So to distinguish us maybe from other organizations, we don't own housing or develop housing, and we don't do shelter work. There's other organizations to do that. Our success is working with folks who are on the verge of losing their place and providing them with some really tangible things like rent assistance or energy assistance, but more important than that, one of our staff who can walk alongside them. And I think about times in my life when I've had it tough. That's what I've needed, is someone to walk with me, and that's what we do. And we've got it down for us for like $1,200. We can stabilize a family of 4 and prevent homelessness for them. 1 month in a shelter for a family of 4, costs taxpayers $3,600. So I mean, it's obvious that if we can get the people before they lose their place, that's what we are really trying to do. And because so many times these things are preventable. They're not always. We understand there's complexity here around what's happening with people outside. But we're working with 16,000 people a year 2 ways. That might be on the next slide. I think that I might have created a slide. Just, well, that's our values. Beautiful. You can read those later. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, kind of 2 ways that we work with people and families. Stabilize. So that's our housing services, primarily in our senior services. So that's making sure that folks have those things that they need if they're in a financial crisis, or referral to an array of things that people need, from childcare to mental health counseling to employment. On the other side of our organization, we have strengthened programs and more upstream, a lot of youth work. We operate, for example, the Sun School at Woodmere. That is a great program. Chelsea knows it. Great. I mean, it's a great place to have your kiddos after school, and we keep an eye on people and families, and we see there's a crisis, we can come in, sweep in and help. We do a lot of things, potentially too many, but it all fits together under this framework. And Pam and I and Stephanie and I were talking about what are we doing in Brentwood-Darlington area. I don't exactly know about Brentwood-Darlington neighborhood. What I can say, and on the next slide, just to show you some sense of the scope, in the 97206 zip code, which I know is bigger than the neighborhood, that's about 20% of the folks that we serve. So we're fairly active there already. Let me loop back to the community center, because I think it's a big missed opportunity. I think that the vision is that could be an absolute hub for preventing homelessness, among other things. Imagine if folks could stop in, walk in, and get connected to the resources they might need to stabilize or strengthen their lives. I think there's great potential for that. I think that the way that Impact has managed the community center over the last 20 years has been low energy. I think there's some paperwork where you can see our organization took on some responsibilities. I think we've been minimally successful at that. Yes, we've maintained the building, but I don't think we've given it the priority that it needs. And frankly, we missed a big opportunity. And I think that's where we want to start. But I'm trying to be really frank with everybody about this. As I was talking this through with Pam and Stephanie, we realized we've kind of inherited this. This did not go necessarily the way I would have done it. You can't change that, but I think we have a lot of control over what happens next. Chelsea, I see your hands up. I'll stop talking.
Oh, no, it's okay. I just wanted to remember that I had a question about food security, because that really ties in with homelessness, because, you know, sometimes you have to choose between rent and food. And if you have kids,
Yeah.
you choose food, obviously. And during the school year, of course, the Sun program at Woodmere runs a fairly good pantry and they get fresh donations, but that disappears in the summer, as does 2 meals a day for all those kids.
Yeah.
And the backpack program that sends extra pantry foods home, and that open ability to shop the program anytime. So I'm wondering how the community center could incorporate some sort of stable food assistance where there's always a food bank open, and maybe even a regular community meal, because though the housing piece is really tied tightly with the food insecurity piece. And I think that if we only do one, it's like the stool with 3 legs. You have to have all the legs there or it falls over. So just
That's a great use of a community center. I mean, that's what to me, that's a great use of it. And that's why it's there. Right now it serves as a hub for early childhood, which is fine, but you know, there's a good amount of space there that largely is not being used that much. Now, the part of that is the last couple of years with the pandemic, but even before that, it's kind of a canvas, and at which I think things like that could absolutely happen. I would love to see us turn the community center into a kind of a green light hub for the neighborhood. And you know, I know there's already I was introduced recently, thanks to Pam and Stephanie, some of the planning that's happening by the city, planning ahead for, you know, infill and growth in Portland. And I don't think the community center is on their radar screen. And if we think about, like, I think a great comparison, Stephanie, is the East Portland Community Center and how that was incorporated into the planning. And if we do this right, I think that Brentwood-Darlington Community Center could also be brought in there. We've talked about the need for kind of a warming or a cooling center, a place to charge phones on a power outage. I think someone mentioned that. Absolutely in line. To be 100% transparent, I first approached Stephanie because I was looking for some partnership on how we were going to maintain the building. How could we at least have the support of the neighborhood association as Impact goes out and seek support for things like a new roof, or we're going to need a new HVAC system at some point. Frankly, the kitchen and bathrooms probably need to be remodeled here soon enough. I think those things are all possible. But as we talked about it, we realized it's more than just maintaining that building. It's actually reimagining what it could be. You know, if we have a vital purpose for it, then I think the things like the updating can happen, and we can find sources of support for that, especially if it's part of something bigger and a bigger vision for the community.
I want to highlight some things in the chat. That Gail wanted to mention that we need a new roof, and adding solar is a wish list item. Let's see, I thought there was something else. Pam mentioned the PSU on the East study on the East Portland Community Center as a resiliency island. Pam, if you had a link to that for the chat, that'd be great.
I'm not as technologically savvy as you are to get that up fast, but we can certainly follow up with that link in an email.
All right, I'll see if I can find it. Do we have more questions for Andy, or comments on this discussion?
Literally asked how this will be staffed, and yeah, I don't have an answer for that, but I can tell you how we've staffed other programs, and I think we can connect this to a larger effort. The funding will come. So Impact is primarily funded through our partnerships with the city, the county, and the state. So Multnomah County, for example, is the community action organization for the region, which means they have a responsibility to make sure there's a social safety net. The way they do that is they don't provide those services themselves. They partner or contract with organizations like Impact Northwest to do that. But I think that they'd be very interested, as would the city, in this idea of a community center being a resiliency hub or a social service hub. And I think that's where we can talk to them about expanding budgets and including this in there. That's certainly how we've built programs over the years. It starts with an idea, starts with a vision. Really, all I'm looking for over time from the neighborhood association is just your enthusiasm and your endorsement. You can get as involved as you want, but I think that as we work together over time and just develop this plan, and this can be kind of revitalizing for your group, for your board. I know you have a lot going on, but if we, could come together and work to create a vision here, I think it'll get funded. I know it will, because it's exciting. There's already a plan from the city for the neighborhood, so it fits in real well. I don't have any fast and easy answers, but this will take a little time to develop. But I'm committed to it. I'm excited about it, and I think this could be really good.
So if I could just add a couple of additional thoughts that Andy and Stephanie and I have been kicking around, and thank you, Andy, for providing that nice background on Impact Northwest. It occurred to me, after viewing the YouTube video of Marissa Zapata's presentation to the board last month on houselessness, that Impact Northwest mission, vision, and programming aligns so well, I think, with the problems that she described. And the second thing is, as I think most of you know, I sit on the advisory committee for the TGM planning study that the city is doing for Lower Southeast. And in talking to the lead planner, Marty Stockton, recently, one of the next steps in her work program for that planning study is to develop an anti-gentrification plan for Brentwood-Darlington, because we're being targeted along with Montevilla for bearing the brunt of densification under the city's residential infill project. And so it occurs to me that Marty and Andy and us should be talking, to flesh out this next step in the planning study. So just want to make the board aware of that. And thirdly, as you know, the board sent a letter to Commissioner Vega Peterson's office in April asking for her help in resolving some of these technical issues, like who owns the Brentwood-Darlington Community Center, since the title was never recorded. And, the lease will be coming up in a few years. And I think Impact Northwest, Andy wants to stay in the building, and Portland Public Schools recently shared that they're not so sure they want to do that. We don't know what's behind that, but it seems like it might be beneficial to the neighborhood association as well as Impact Northwest to keep Impact Northwest here in our neighborhood. And then there's the maintenance issues, maybe grant funding is one source, or maybe governmental funding is another source potentially. So, I think there's lots to discuss that don't fit into today's agenda. So if we could have some time maybe in August or September, that would be great.
All right, so we're coming up on our agenda mark of our extra 5 minutes. So I'm going to allow one more short comment, and then a reminder that we have a special guest in August, so we can't talk about it there. There's no work group meeting, so September is the month you're hoping for, unless you would like to organize and host your own special meeting on it at a different date. Stephanie, final comments, and then we're going to move on to our next agenda topic, I think.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Chelsea. In working with Andy and Pam, I've had the thought that bringing the community center back to life for the neighborhood would be such a fabulous project for BDNA, and it's a way to draw in residents asking what they would like to see happen there. It could be a very compelling and exciting venture that in partnership with Impact Northwest over the next few years. And I know that from looking at the PSU assessment and action plan, and then again in a series of land use meetings about a year and a half ago, people expressed a desire to have a place, a viable place where they can gather, meet up with people, plan programs and events and so on, have a community center that's more open and alive than what we've experienced in the past. And I think we have the opportunity now that Andy has stepped forward and is equally excited about opening up the community center. You know, the building was created with a dual purpose in mind. One was to house Impact Northwest Early Childhood Development Center. And so there was an explicit design for part of the building for that. But then the rest of the building was for an active community center. And it was operated like that for several years, but there seemed to be a failure in funding that resulted in Impact being given responsibility for operating the building. And I think that now we have a chance to actually have a partnership again with Impact Northwest that will be very exciting and beneficial, not just for the neighborhood, but for Portland and the metro area. And I think, you know, if we come together in talks on a vision, I agree with Andy that the money is there to restore the building, but also to support programming and services. And we're especially very interested in having a resource desk right in the lobby of the building where people can come in, drop in anytime, and there's a person there who can say, what do you need? How can we help? And so I think there are many exciting aspects of this. And I thank Andy for stepping forward and ending our dark mystery relationship with Impact Northwest. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. I really hope that neighbors who are excited for this project will come join the board and volunteer, because during our elections, we've got pretty much at capacity. So Dunya, I see you want to do a final comment. And since we do have a section set aside for miscellaneous business at the end, we'll shrink that one a little bit because I can see this is an active topic and I want to respect that. So go ahead, Dunya.
I just have one quick question. The we, is that referring to the board? I mean, who is the we that would be doing all this work? I think that's the only thing that's what I'm really confused about, is who is we, because this sounds like a tremendous amount of work. Who is going to be doing that? Like, is the expectation that it would become our responsibility as the neighborhood association, or is somebody doing that?
No, have you read the Good Neighbor Agreement? Probably, maybe you have
there's a lot in
there. It's been
there.
a while that we will offer our resources to the extent of our ability. We're a little teeny organization, and Impact is a big, powerful organization, and it has more resources than we do. But I am expecting that once we advertise to the neighborhood the prospect of creating a resilience center, a place that's a heating and cooling center, a place with programming, a place with resources that also houses Impact's early childhood development program, and is working in tandem with the city to avert homelessness in our neighborhood. This is going to draw in people. This is an exciting project. This could be as compelling as precision cast parts, right? Except a lot more positive.
Okay, we have some hands up. Kim, I see two hands, Kim Hill and then Pam. And then we'll go from there. So Kim, you're first, and then Pam.
I think Pam was up before so I'm just gonna.
Apologies, it did the.
No worries.
You guys hash it out.
Well, I mean, just briefly, Stephanie and I have been working on the Brentwood-Darlington Community Center issues for about 2 years, doing background research and then looping Andy in. So, you know, with respect to following through on a strategy development for Commissioner Vega Peterson's office, and linking up the TGM efforts with Impact Northwest and the board. You know, I think we are volunteering to continue to do that. We just want to keep the board fully informed of, you know, what the options are and regular status updates. So you do have board staff working on it.
Okay, Kim Hill, you're next. Kim, you're still muted if you're chatting with us. I think Kim's having some technical difficulties. Andy, why don't you go ahead while Kim Hill sorts that out?
Yeah, just real briefly, I can just say that we're prepared to provide support for this, which basically means our staff time. So my staff time, my time, we have a development team when we get there who can write grants, make the asks so we can get the funding. I want to be careful though that how do I say this? I'm not asking for you all to do the work, but I don't want to do the work without you right alongside of us. So we'll have to find that cadence.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good.
All right, Kim Hill, there you are.
All right. So my mute's off and I'm lower my hand, so I'm all good as far as housekeeping. I have a couple of thoughts of this, and I feel like there's a lot for me to learn around this. But I really am. I am wondering about the we, and I'm also wondering about capacity, and then I'm also wondering about important things like contracts. I feel like this is a really, this is the sort of thing that can be very testing to good relationships and can get, you know, agreements made in faith and in good faith and by well-meaning folks can so easily be changed over time due to capacity. And I just really want to protect our teeny little board, as Stephanie says, but also honor the goodwill of Andy and the tremendous work of Stephanie and Pam. And that's just, that's a very, very full, I would say many burners on this stove. There's a lot to do. One thing I'm very curious about is if we could possibly just consider if there is some sort of time frame for this, if there has been any like strategic planning around who, what, and when. And I'm sure that's enough for me. So.
Thank you, Kim. Andy, do you have an answer to any of that? The specific ask there at the end, if there's a time frame?
I haven't talked about a time frame. I think that I think we just want to pace this at which we all have capacity. My experience in projects like this is if we have and I think Ryan have a great start. We have a great vision for this that you all have had time to provide input on to kind of align. That might take a few months, well worth it. We come out with that, a really tight plan. At that point, I think it's about a fundraising campaign that we can manage. And then I think we can start to put dates on it. I mean, to be realistic though, it's going to take a while. It could take a couple of years to get sort of where the beginnings of this, maybe less, but I think that, we're all being asked to do a ton and we're all being pulled in a lot of directions. So That may seem like a long time, but it's probably been 20 years since there's been a good conversation. Between all of us, so another way of looking at it.
Okay, Laura Lee, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll make this kind of quick because I know we're running out of time. I think that the vision is fantastic. And I love everything that I'm hearing. I love my brain, because of my job, works in kind of like pie charts. And there's a lot of different language, rolling around with how the community center is going to be used as far as like early childhood education, perhaps a place for seniors to meet, also a place for our houseless members of our community to be able to come and be a resource center. And my thought, having worked in a community center before, is the transition period between these different types of activities happening at the community center. And I know this is not something to be answered now, but that's the first thing that came to my head, to my brain, is like, well, I love all of these ideas, but how can we make all of these ideas work together in this very small community center at the edge of our park?
That's an awesome question. I really like the idea of a pie chart or having like a percentage of use. And that gave me an idea. Andy, if you want to actually directly ask the community about that, would Impact Northwest be interested in having a table at our movie in the park on July 29th? You could have one of those big old sticky sheets up. I can even give you one and say, like, what do you want from your community center? Did you know about these programs? And have like a yes, no for the programs and like a wish list of brainstorm for programs, and people can like put check marks next to ones they like or something like that, where you have access to a huge subset of the community you would not normally encounter on a day-to-day basis walking through your doors. And you can give them a way to tell you what they want.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a great opportunity. I mean, I think that we're at the point in the process where we have too many ideas, but that's what we want. We want every possible idea. And then in my experience, we have to have a time of alignment and vetting. And we're gonna pick and choose, we're gonna narrow them down. We're gonna need that input from neighbors. I want the neighborhood to feel as if it really came up with this vision. And what I'm hoping is that we can get a lot of help from the city on this. The city has people, this is what they do. That isn't necessarily my area of expertise. Maybe it is for some of us, but I think we can get them to do that work for us because that's what they're there for. But let's talk about the 29th, because that could be a fun opportunity.
Awesome. We can connect on email with that, and Gail will make sure and include you. So because organizations that are tabling also get listed in the summer free for all events. So you get an extra plug there to reach more. And I see Kim Hill suggests a strategic planning afternoon might be really useful. So I'd suggest, since we are running late on our agenda, that we plan something for, say, September with Andy, and maybe we can get somebody from Jessica Vega Peterson's office to come. Maybe we can get somebody from the city to come and have a strategic planning session with all of these entities that we keep going, well, we need to talk to them and we need to talk to them and they're important here. And it can be virtually, it can be whatever, but that way all the entities are on board. And it also looks at the capacity of each one, and it's like, and we decide, what kind of capacity we have and what that means for our role in this project. Board members, thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs in the middle if you don't really care, not sure. All right, so we'll table that. We'll work out a date with you, Andy, and try to connect to the right entities. And Shauna Erickson mentions about that if you have a booth, you can also be included in the volunteer fundraiser sign up at the concert in the park. So definitely connect with Gail on that. And it sounds like Shauna is a concert in the park person in training. Okay. Any more on this topic before we move on? I know we're past our agenda. I want to make sure we get to our treasurer's report and any other board business we need to get to, but I know this was a really important topic that neighbors had a lot to say on. All right, Andy, thank you so much for being here. And we're gonna move along onto the terribly exciting board business, but very, very important of the treasurer's report. So let me get that projected briefly and I'll turn it over to Kim.
Okay, Chelsea went away and I think I'm up. Let's see, I have multiple slides up.
It should load for you if you click on it, or full screen, small screen, or reverse of that.
Okay, very good.
Why it's grumpy, but
I'm gonna use
way is I have to lean down and nobody wants to see my ear.
I am going to use Chelsea's slide because Google formatting has made it plain text, which is fine. It makes it easy for me to read. I'm just going to go down the line and say that as of oh goodness. Okay. I just want to also just share with everyone that this is my first solo treasurer's report. And there were several fun factors. I did double up the months, made it through from May. No, I didn't. Oh goodness. It wasn't quite sure how to do this one because it was a very unique month to start. We had one transaction and that was just a credit union dividend. But we also had not had a treasurer's report in May, just due to not having any transactions. So, I mean, I think that's a really good sign that we are definitely working within our means. One thing that I do want to applaud is in the spirit of working within our means is Gail's tremendous efforts and working with the lovely Concert in the Park folks to jump on that scholarship that was offered. Is that right, Gail? It was a scholarship or credit for $250. Pardon?
I said, we're poor. What can you do? We're poor. And she's like, what do you want? I said, $500. She said, no. $750. And I said, okay. So I basically begged.
We begged. And I mean, we have basically gotten this concert over the months from, I think it was originally $4,000. Then it was $1,000 and now it's down to $750. So let's just continue at the city. Maybe they will fund these things fully in the future. I think that's a very admirable and probably aspirational item. And then let me see. Between Google and my old eyes, I am having challenges with our checking account balance as on 6/30. So
so how about I read it for you?
Thank goodness.
I get really close and I use the special part of my glasses. Our total, you want the very total at the bottom?
Yeah, I believe the mid total, because the very total at the bottom is our forecast balance with the $1,000 fee that is now down to $750.
All right, so the checking account balance is $6,124.92. I love that we get to use our special glasses. We had a projected out of $1,000, now down to $750. And I want to note, Gail negotiates the price down every year. So she is not just awesome. She is like epically awesome.
Epically awesome. That is so great.
And then we have some funds in our fiscal sponsorship that haven't changed, with the forecasted balance of $5,437.15, I think.
Great. So thank you for that support. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and hey, Gail, I just want to also give you a shout out and assurance that while we were chatting away, I did reach out and finalize that payment. So that has gone through, and so that will come out from next month. Thank you so very much for your nudge and support on that. And I actually want to share that that is my first transaction, so I'm super excited to have more transactions, and I would love to see us be able to add funds to our overall balance and have it go up a little bit. And it sounds like Chelsea's awesome Sparrowhawk Native Plants event that's coming up in the fall is going to be a terrific way to do that. And yeah, I just also want to thank everyone for being patient with me tonight as I did my very brief treasurer's report, and my first one. I hope I will get very astute at all of these wonderful things. I'm very grateful for Lynn Reck, our former treasurer, and her awesome guidance. She trained me over 5 months, and here I am actually giving reports and spending money. So that's wonderful. And then I'm not sure if I'm forgetting anything, but thank you all for your kindness listening to my my rambling treasurer's report this evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If we want to give ourselves an even bigger discount on this concert, we could cash in those fiscal sponsorship funds that got donated. We received $250 at Southeast Uplift from a neighbor, and it would be great to cash that in and wipe that account. So if you're comfortable with that, Kim, and the board thinks that's a good idea, we could take another $250 off and get Gail's original $500. So thumbs up if you think it's good, thumbs down if you don't, thumbs in the middle if you don't care. I work with a lot of kids. Works really well. All right. So that can be refunded at any time before the end of the fiscal year, I think it is. So when you're ready to do that, Kim, I can also help you with that because I've helped you. I've been involved with that before, but I think Lynn might have gone over it with you. So yeah, cool. Okay, so I see cash in the fiscal sponsorship funds. Awesome. That also takes it off our report. We no longer have to worry about it, and takes it off of their plate too, which they appreciate. They don't like when we leave money in there a long time. Speaking of Southeast Uplift, do you like my segues? We're going to go to other committee reports and updates, and I want to give Kim Deleo a chance to talk because there has been some interesting things happening at Southeast Uplift.
Hi, sorry, I was looking to turn off my Roomba. I don't know where it went. So apologize for the background noise. Two things to report from Southeast Uplift. There will be $62,000 this year in small community grant funding, which is good news. And the second topic, which has been kind of ongoing since I've sat on the sole board, was with Alan Field from Richmond. So the board voted to suspend Alan for 3 years from sitting on the board. We felt like that would be enough time to maybe let things calm down and then allow for business to actually take place. So hopefully we'll move forward and the meetings can be productive going forward.
All right. Any questions about Southeast Uplift? Be sure and check out that event that they posted. Kim Hill, go ahead. You're muted.
I was doing so well, and here I am muted again. Kim Deleo, we had Chelsea had an awesome idea of and we keep saying it, getting rid of buckets, and we need a little more elegant language, I think. but it really is how it feels. We got 300 buckets. We thought we would be able to have another neighborhood association or two, and we just don't have capacity for that. And Chelsea's awesome idea, and then our to partner with Woodstock neighborhood, and then also with the concert in the park. I'm confident that we can share our buckets with all the folks who want them. Going forward, I think what I would love to see is some ideas for ways that we could potentially work with Southeast Uplift to increase our capacity. I feel like they are a natural, whether they think they are or not, might be a natural resource for building that neighborhood, widening the scope of the project slightly and bringing the Soak It Week to more neighborhoods that want them.
I think that's great.
It would be a really easy template event that neighborhoods could pick up, especially if Southeast Uplift were a central repository for the buckets. And with that big building, it wouldn't hurt them to store them long term, and neighbors could access them maybe during times of unexpected heat and like, oh no, my tree is going to be damaged and I really need a way to water it. So I like that idea, Kim Hill. Okay. Any other questions on Southeast Uplift? All right, other board business. We need to talk about canopies. Kim Deleo, before you go off mute, you mentioned something about canopies to me in chat. Can you speak to that?
We have a 12 by 12 and a 10 by 10.
Now,
So-
do you want to loan those or donate those?
We can loan those. Let me see. Let me get back to you on that too, because we have two.
Okay, because I'd also like the board to consider replacing our canopy because we do use it a lot. And this one, I believe, is 3 or 4 years old, and it's gone through a lot, and 4 years old, Gail says. So we can somebody can take it and TLC the legs, because the last time before, about 3 events ago, it was snow, sleeted, hailed, and rained on all at once and got packed away with ice in it. And the legs are messed up. So you can either take it and TLC the legs, or we can approve funding a new canopy. So I want to put that out there. I'd really love to get that decided before concert in the park, because I'd rather not be worried about doing the voting on money things because of the rules in our bylaws and having to panic about it. Pam asks, how much does a new one cost? The cheap ones you can usually get around 150
Yeah.
or under. A good one is usually $200 to $250. It just depends on the sale you get and where you find it.
I also want to add that it took Chelsea, Kim, and I, and a volunteer to try to get the canopy set up during our last event. It was quite the task. So,
and normally I can set that one up by myself. So it was a good one.
I think we should just get one and get a good one.
All right. So what I'm hearing is that we should get one, and I'm seeing Kim Hill's comment in the chat that we should spend $250 on one. So I'm wondering if anybody would like to make a motion to that effect. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll motion. Am I allowed to motion as treasurer?
Yep.
Oh, how delightful. Thank you. Gail is also motioning. So it seems like Gail and I are co-motioning to spend $250 on a brand new awesome tent.
Laura's gonna second.
Oh.
All right. There's a twin motion on the floor to spend $250 on a new, up to $250 on a new canopy before our concert in the park, seconded by Laura Lee, if I heard correctly. And board members, I'll run through the roll real fast. Derek, you get to be first this time.
Aye.
Kim Deleo,
Aye.
Kim Hill,
Aye.
Gail,
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Junia,
Aye.
Laura Lee,
Aye.
and me, aye. All right, motion passes. We get a new canopy. Woo, woo. And we'll try to rehab the other one so we have a backup canopy because you never get rid of a good canopy. To that point, is anyone able to go purchase said canopy and have it ready for this event? All right, I will put that out in email and we'll hash it out there, board members, or unless somebody's going to volunteer.
I could, where would we go to buy this?
They're available in lots of areas. Who bought our last one? Kim Deleo, did you buy our last one? No.
No, but we did buy one. I can't remember. It was either Dick's or maybe Sportsman's Paradise.
Yeah, I'm happy to go out and buy that. Just shoot me an email with, specs and details and.
Okay. Kim Hill said she brought an awesome one at Ace. So Kim, was that a 10 by 10?
I'm pretty sure it was a 10 by 10. It was the Ace on Broadway. And this was last.
You're talking Ace Hardware?
Yep. Ace
Okay.
Hardware. Yeah.
We'll
So
do a
that
quick email round and make sure we have the specs. Kim Deleo, go ahead.
I have a 20% off Ace coupon, I'm a member. You can
Okay.
use it.
So we'll tentatively plan Ace and we'll coordinate what to get through email. Sound good?
Okay, great.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Derek, for being willing to do that. You can coordinate with either me or Kim to pick up a card.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, we have 3 more minutes and I'm realizing that I want to ask if anybody else has any more topics before we are done. And welcome new neighbors and returning neighbors who aren't on the board. You've been very quiet. Do you have any questions, comments, screams of terror? Shauna posted in the chat, appreciates being invited this evening and posted some contact information and the address that she has listed. If there is nothing else, we will table everything else either to email or next month's meeting. A reminder to join us at concert in the park with Donna Jones and the delegation, July 29th. Grab your blue buckets if you haven't gotten them already, or if your neighbors stole yours and you need more because you were kind and shared. And a reminder that there's a special guest August 4th, but no work group meeting the 3rd week of August. And currently land use meetings are also on hiatus. Board members will talk in email about committees and that kind of stuff from our bylaws. So all good? Everybody ready to be done?
Yep.
We're gonna end a minute early. Gail, you can coordinate with Derek. Have a great night, everybody. We are ending our meeting at 8:59. Happy summer. Stay safe.